how do you want to do it? How do you want to show up? How do you want to express? And how do you want to build the business? And so, and what does that mean to you? And like everyone's reason for creating freedom in the online space and being time and location free is unique to them. And we are live. Now, welcome to the Rich Mystic Man podcast. This is a never done before episode. So I'm here in the studio and the podcasting studio, which is just upstairs from where I do music. And so the plan was to finish up in the studio at 2 and then come upstairs between 2 and 3, record a couple of podcasts. And then I've got a team call within our online business space for the men. And I got that call at 3. And so, just went a little bit over in the studio. We got a bit carried away. It was a really productive session. We got a lot done. And it's the first time I've been in the studio with Johnny doing music in about a month. And so it was really powerful to come back refreshed. And and that time that I've been off, I've just been practicing my rhymes. And so I came back and done a couple of 2 songs, final vocals. And it flowed really well. And it also went over budget or went over time. And so I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to get to podcast episodes in. So I got the call with the men. So I said, what about if we turn this into a podcast? So I'm just sort of doing it on the fly and seeing how it will go. And these calls are extremely valuable. And these are our community calls with the men that are really making some powerful moves in the online space, creating freedom for themselves, building an online business, learning the skill set of sales, marketing, leadership, mindset, and really stepping up and creating or in the process of creating their dream life. And a life of freedom, a life of travel, a life of choice, a life of abundance, possibilities. Yeah, and really just like setting ourselves up so we can live our life and create the things that we wish to create and give ourselves turn the fucking engine on, get really like pumped and jacked. And so we have that, confidence that we can create our life that we want to create. And so, these are really powerful calls that we have every week. And so it's often their Q&A. And, I guess for myself, I've created success. I've been in the online space, building this business for now coming on 9 years. And so my wife and I have built our business to a point of financial freedom. We've reached this legacy position in our company, so we get paid every month, and it's incredible. And so I guess what I love about the space is them. It's like, okay, cool, we've done it, right, and we're doing it, and how we do that is like by supporting others to rise. And so now we're in a space to really give back and to really support. And so, I guess I'm a few years ahead of a lot of the men that are on this call. And so I'm just like, passing the hand back saying, hey, brother, this is what I did. This is how I did it. And this is available for you. Let's get to work. Where are the holes? Where do you need support? Where do you need empowerment? Where can we, fill those gaps so you can really step into your full potential and, full power. And so you can get out there and sell product, build your online brand, market effectively and, use attraction marketing to draw in the people that you wish to draw in, into your team, into your organization and support you to do what I've done. So what I would like to do is just take a breath. Woo! Just take a breath. Just take a breath. There we go. Sometimes all you need is just a breath, a bit of a sigh, a bit of a reset, and get back into it. So, let's throw it over to you guys. And we do have a new fella in the house. We've got Roman States. Hopefully, I've said that right. He's coming in all the way from Germany. And he's giving me that nod of like, you sort of got it right. It wasn't exactly right, but it was okay. I'll pay it. You're relatively new in the space, or it's the first call that you've been on. So I just wanted to throw it over to you, brother. And I guess, a really powerful question to ask is, just sharing where you're at and then asking myself, and then we can open up and see if anyone else also has some insights. But you're like, what was, how did you get from where you are now to what your next goal is? So I guess if you could ask that question from where you are currently and just give us a brief intro of where you're at, within your business, and then where you want to go and what that like next goal is. And then I can sort of, I guess, reverse engineer to when I was in that point in my business. And then I can, potentially offer you some insights.
Sweet. So my idea was like in the as of right now, I'm completely in the beginning. I don't even have one sale at all, but I'm going absolutely. My goal is like to the next month till my sister has birthday. Like I want to be at A4 at least. So I waited long enough patiently. I come like from a little bit from the network marketing business before, but it was a low ticket, but I did not know anything about low ticket, high ticket, till one of my friends from the low ticket company mentions this, like, Rowan, you're struggling with this. So I was like, okay, let me see what she has. And then I saw one webinar, and from there on, it completely went crazy. My mind started like just way more elevated than before. So and right now, I'm obviously like, my number is 8. So I saw there's 682/8, the -8. So this is my main goal, absolutely.
Okay, so what's the first goal? To get to 4A?
The first goal right now is like to make it the first goal would be now 4A, because I came in with the trifecta, so I'm already 2A. So that's not too hard, like to go from 2 to 4, in my opinion. It just it takes like just a moment, like once it starts, and it is like really good. I get like already so many leads coming in, like just like to the post that I've done. So that is really nice. I mean, beautiful, many conversations with, thank you.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I guess the powerful part of where you're at, like it's a really, you started something fresh, you've backed yourself, you've said yes. And the reality of our business in the online space, and for those of you listening, is like, what the fuck's 4A, 2A, what does that even mean? So 4A is 21 sales in your business, either direct or indirect. And direct is a sale that you brought in directly. An indirect sale is a sale that you brought in and then they sell to someone or sell to someone, and so on and so forth. So you need 21 direct or indirect sales. And so the beautiful part about that position, and I guess why we beat the drum of like it being such an important part of your journey in the online space, building your business, is that if you can get to 4A, you've done it. You've cracked the code. Right. If you can do 21 sales, sure, it's a different story, going from 21 sales to 100 sales to 500 sales to 1,000 sales, or, to hundreds of sales every month. Sure. There's different things that happen. There's places you need to like step up and step into leadership. And, you go from just sort of supporting yourself, doing your own sales, to then like supporting others to support them to do their own sales and things like that. And so you need to then step into leadership. And then you face off with, so many different challenges within, building a community. It's like that there's a lot involved with that. It's all beautiful. It's all great opportunity to lead and to show up. And, what I really love about what we do is that there's not one way of doing it. I was really having this powerful reflection the other day, and I was just looking at myself, my wife, my mentor, Balaj W. Cardos, and then also another leader within our community, Beck Femia. And I was just reflecting on how we all built the business. And I was like, we all do it very differently. Like our journeys are completely different. And to this day, how we show up in the space is extremely different. And I'm like, even with myself and my wife, like how we do the business is very different. And it's, obviously there's a lot of similarities, and we're selling the same product, and, we're using a lot of the same funnels and things like that to bring people in, and, ways of marketing. There's a lot of similarities, but how we do it is actually very different, which is really cool, because it's like, fuck, your way is the right way. So, how do you want to do it? How do you want to show up? How do you want to express? And how do you want to build the business? And so, and what does that mean to you? And like everyone's reason for creating freedom in the online space and being time and location free is unique to them. For me, I wanted to just be able to be present, be a father that was present with my family, being able to be there with the kids, see them, see them grow up, and have the freedom to leave when they were like completely driving me nuts. And I have the support from, people that could, care for them during the day, like having nannies and things like that. So I guess having freedom within my life and within my family, and then also being able to travel. And, and then also what I discovered a little bit later as I was, more into my journey, I realized that I wanted to be a musician. And I always thought this was a dream, but I created financial freedom for myself. And I'm like, okay, if now that, time and money is not a problem, what else do I want to do? And so that's when music came up. So it's a really awesome opportunity that we have. And the reason I shared that piece is just, I guess, trust in your own intuitive nudge of like how you want to do the business, right? And I'll say like getting to 4A, those first 21 sales is like the most crucial part. Once you can do that, right, you've cracked it. You've done it. You're like, cool. If I can just get to this, I'm done 21 sales, then all you need to do is support someone else within your team then to do the same. And that's all it is. You do it, yeah, and you must do it again. So you get to 4A, 21 sales, cool, let's do that again. You do that again, but then you're also supporting people that have come in for them to do that again, for them to do that again. You do it again, they do it again. You do it again, they do it again. And it just continues to grow and snowball and build and build and build and build until you have hundreds or thousands of people spanning all across the world that are, building their business, which is then supporting you to build your business. So yeah, I guess the main goal right now is just do that, like just get to 4A. And, I feel like the path to 4A is like, it's just going to take some like fucking balls. It's just really putting your fucking big boy pants on, grabbing your balls and just going for it, right? Just going cool. Because at the end of the day, it's about people. How can I get this offer in front of people? Now, we have a really powerful opportunity here because we can leverage tools like social media. We have a high ticket offer, like you said, and with a high ticket offer, you can afford ad spend. The really powerful part about like our business is that, it's high ticket. It's a high ticket product, which means high ticket commissions. And so with that, you can afford to play with a bit of money with ad spends, like you said, to generate leads online. So it's a really powerful opportunity to do that and to be able to leverage tools like social media to generate leads. And I'll say that first starting point is like, you want to be in this, like, I'll do whatever I have to just to get this done. Right. And so a great example is like, Christy and I were in that same energy at the moment. We're currently on a run to hit 682-5. Now, to the listeners at home, don't worry about the numbers, right? It just means we've sold a lot of sales around the world. We have a big organization. We make a lot of money, and we've helped a lot of other people to do the same. Right? That's essentially what 682-5 means. And actually, sorry, we're currently 682-4, and we're on this run to hit 682-5. And so it's so close. It is so close, right? We need about 50, not even that now. It's about 20 something $1,000 in sales volume to get there, which we all know that isn't actually that many sales, right? And there's a few different people that need to hit that for all the gods to align, or to get all our ducks in a row. And so then we hit that position, right? And so we're in this, like, my wife and I, plus, the other leaders that are in the run together, we're in this, like, do whatever it fucking takes mindset. Like, leave no stone unturned. If you need to call your nana, your grandma, and sell her a machine, do that, right? It's like, and, maybe that's taken into an extreme, but it wouldn't hurt your nana for her to be drinking this water. It wouldn't be such a bad thing. So, have you asked the question? So one thing we've been doing, which has been really powerful, is actually just calling on some of our friends for a favor. We're like, hey, listen, this is how we're approaching it. It's like, hey, listen, you're a great friend of ours. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Hope you're well. And just calling on a favor. Chrissy and I, we're at this position. We're about to hit this rank in our business. It's a huge thing for us. And it's a huge legacy piece for us and our family. And there's this event in Vegas. And if we get it before this date, then we go on stage, we get one of those big checks. It's like a big glory moment. And so, I just love your support. And so if you're open to it, I know you've sort of expressed at some stage that, like health is important to you, you value good water. And just wanted to see if you'd be open to supporting us in this time now, and we can support you in getting a machine. So I just wanted to see if you're open. If you are, then let me know and I can, share with you about, the different financing options, payment plans, and, pricing and things like that. But yeah, just let me know. And, not attached either way, just sort of asking for support if it's possible and totally get it if it's not. All cool. So yeah, just hit me back and I look forward to hearing from you. Hopefully you're well. Love to you and the family. Boom, voice text, right? And so we're just sending these out. And fuck, man, some of the people that are saying yes and just wanting to support us, and also people that are like, man, and, people that are saying yes that are like, the synchronicity of the timing of me asking them is like, listen, we're only just talking about water this morning. And now you're messaging us about joining this water business. Like, I think it's meant to be, those sort of things have happened a couple of times with some of these people that we're talking to. So it's just an example of like really going all in. That's not something we normally do. We really leverage social media. We use attraction marketing. We can run paid advertisement. We can generate leads, using paid advertisement or just attraction marketing where we put up a post and people will come to you, which is a really powerful place to play from because it's like, cool, this is what I have. And if you're interested, then, reach out to me and let's have a conversation, right? It's a beautiful, organic energy to come from. However, it's like, fuck man, if you want it, are you willing to go get it and do whatever it takes and maybe have some uncomfortable conversations and reach out to maybe some people around you or people in your network to get it over the line, and maybe it's a combination of both. It's not one or the other. It's like, I'll do whatever I have to. And that doesn't mean when you start, you're like, okay, I'm going to do YouTube ads. I'm going to do Instagram ads. I'm going to do Facebook ads. I'm going to do like story ads. I'm going to do everything. No, I don't mean that, right? It's like, keep it simple. Just, practice sort of, a couple of approaches, but it's like, are you really putting this offer in front of people? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the fucking medium is. It's like, am I getting this in front of people? And if you're sort of sitting around waiting for it to happen, then it might happen. But I'd say it's like, if you bring your energy forward and have that like willing to do whatever it takes mindset and showing up in that regard, then it's going to create a space for more opportunity to come to you. And it's interesting that I reached this point because when I was coming up to do this podcast, the topic that I wanted to do the podcast on was just like how to get lucky. So I'll come back to that and I will do that as a podcast once we finish this call, right? But it's like the topic is like how to get lucky. And I'll expand on it a little bit more on this podcast and you guys can tune into that and tune into the next episode whenever it lands. And it may have already landed because this one may go out before or after that one. Who knows? But anyway, go to my platforms and look for how to get lucky. And how you get lucky in, bullet point brief version is just fucking show up. Really give it a crack. And when you're really engaged and you're playing the game and you're saying yes to life and you're asking the question, because some of these voice notes I'm sending out, it's been uncomfortable. It's like, oh, what's that person going to think? Are they going to think that I'm trying to sell them something? Is this going to like impede on the friendship or whatever? Most times not. And I don't think so. It hasn't been that way. And that's not my intention. And I leave it open, but it's like, so it hasn't been a comfortable situation. It's been uncomfortable, right? But I'm just doing it. And so because of that, like I've had some really powerful people say yes. And, I had this other lady who she supports me in my marketing. And she goes, oh, wow. She goes, it's crazy timing that you asked this, because she goes, I'm really open to it, because only just recently we had, tank water, and something happened to a tank. So we're now on town water. And she goes, I'm showering in it and it sucks. And she's like, I think I need to reach out to Clint. And here I am messaging her the same day. Right. So lucky, or is that me showing up? It's a bit of both. I think that is lucky, but luck happens when I decide to play the game. And I decide to get out of my own way and stop listening to that voice that's telling you can't do it, because it's still always going to be there, and start listening to the voices like, do it, Clint, do it, bro, have the courage, let's show up. Yeah, if I didn't show up, it wouldn't have been lucky, right? So it's like life rewards life. So, and I think this is an invitation for you guys on the call and for you guys at home, is like, are you showing up? Are you doing all that you can do? And that's only a question that you can answer. You don't need to answer it now, but it's like, are you doing everything you can to reach the goal that you want to achieve? And whatever that goal is, whether it's something with an A at the end of it, it doesn't matter. But it's like, whatever that goal is, are you doing everything in your power? Or are you half-assing it? Mike, you got a question, bro?
Yeah, mate. Or just more tell you where we're at right now, because we're kicking some major goals. So we've decided to take a huge step forward. Where we built a house 2.5 years ago on 2 acres just out of Port Macquarie, and it's been a lot of work. It has been sucking a lot of my time due to like trying to do landscaping and whatnot. It's taking a lot of time out of even the business. If I'm trying to do, say, 2 hours of an evening, it's late at night. So what we've decided to do is jump and let the universe catch us. So we're selling our dream home for a really, really nice total. And we're moving back into town. We're downsizing pretty dramatically, but the place we're buying still got everything we absolutely need, plus more. And we're going to be mortgage free within about 2 months. So that's the dream, isn't it? And then we're going to have time. I'm going to have so much time because I'm not flat out doing everything else around the place. Bit of rural lifestyle. So I can pump a heap of effort back into this business and get that thing cranking. So I just want to extend a massive thank you to yourself and the entire community for instilling that mindset that you can jump. If you want it, you can get it. It's there. You've just got to grab it.
Oh, man. Goosies. Fucking goosies. Yeah. Power in that, brother. Well done. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's
also currently sitting inside the Aim Higher Living rig, if I can pan around.
Nice. I mean, it is a patrol.
Stickers coming. Yeah, well, I was always a Toyota guy as well, but I've jumped ship. I got stickers coming for the side of it and the caravan, so we're going to be advertising both physically and on the internet, Facebook, everywhere.
Yeah, man, I feel that. I feel like you've taken the leap, and it feels like you've got this energy of all inness, and and I really feel that compared to the last few weeks, it's like you really stepped into this power, and backing yourself comes with this level of like, oh fuck yeah, and there's this reward in it, and so that energy, people are drawn to that. They'll be like, you'll just, now that you really step into this, you'll notice that shit, it's the same fucking ad, but all of a sudden I'm getting leads. What happened? It's like, you changed. It's like, sure, it's not so much your marketing or stuff. Yeah, it's important, but it's like, once you shift that energy and you have that shift and you're showing up and you got this power and this radiance, is like, people are like, fuck yeah, man, I want what he's doing. Like, fuck yeah, that looks epic. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see what comes off the back of it, and just the freedom that you feel that it's coming through, like your posture and your expression. And so, yeah, man, kudos. Thanks for sharing.
Cheers, man. Cheers, lads.
Graham?
Hey, Clint. Yeah, I was just taking on board what you were saying there about how you show up. And what was coming through to me, the question I've got for you is about kind of authenticity, I guess, because for me, I suppose where I'm at the moment, the messages I'm receiving at the moment, yeah, it's about showing up, but it's about showing up authentically as yourself. I just wonder if you've got any kind of thoughts and insights on how to show up authentically without necessarily oversharing and putting people off.
Yeah. Beautiful. Great question. How do you show up authentically without oversharing or putting people off? So, yes, something that we have the Rich Man call, and we had that on last Wednesday. We had a very special guest, Emma Anderson from Love Loop, come and join us, and she supports us with my marketing. So my Instagram and all that sort of stuff is run by her engine, Love Loop, which has really been really profound, and I'm really enjoying that working relationship. So she's run many successful campaigns and businesses and marketing strategies. And she came and shared on our call last week, the Rich Man call, for our 12-week, the Rich Man container. And she shared, what did she share? She said, like marketing and personal brand, building a personal brand is showing up as you are now. It's not showing up as who you want to be or who you think you might be in a few years' time. It's like knowing that who you are now and what you have now to share is enough and is perfect and is what you need and is the place to be sharing from. Because I hear it quite often where people are trying to like do what someone else is doing, and they're I guess using a cookie cutter approach in a sense, and just sharing what someone else is sharing because they're doing the same business, but it's like they're sharing someone else's story. It's like I do hip hop, right? And so you hear it all the time in the music industry is like, man, he's not telling his story. It's like if someone's telling their own unique story, then people have respect for them, right? But if they're like someone else is writing their music and they're telling someone else's story, it's like it doesn't feel right. It feels off, right? And so it's the same thing with personal branding. It's like if you're trying to be someone you're not, right, or someone else, or trying to be someone that's not you, it's like it doesn't come across and it doesn't land very well to the audience, to the person that's reading it. They'll sense it. And also too, what I hear, and this is quite common, is like, I just don't feel like, I'm being true in my marketing, and it just sort of feels off. And I'm like, yeah, it's because you're not fucking being honest. You're not being you. You're trying to be someone else. And so the more you can authentically be yourself and show up as yourself online, the more it's actually going to attract more people, because there's this feeling of authenticity, right? So it doesn't have to be polished. You don't have to try and be like professional, or you don't have to try and be anyone other than who you are. And, I get this reminder constantly with Facebook memories. So I'll get a memory come up, and I often share them in our community group, just as a reminder for people. Because when I watch back videos, I had this one the other day come up on my feed. It was from probably like 6 years ago. And it was my first ever live video. It was when live videos were pretty new on Facebook. And so it was my first ever live video. And I did it from the shower. So I called it Water Wisdom, and I did this live video from the shower, right? And it was pretty funny because I was just laughing at my randomness. But I was also like listening to how I was speaking, and I was like, oh, like it just lacked confidence. I didn't really know what I was talking about. I was stuttering a lot of ums and ahs. But that was me showing up back then. And at the time, I probably thought it was epic, right? But now 6-7 years later, I look back and I'm like, I've come a long way, right? But I was being my authentic self back then, right? So oftentimes in the online space, we can look at someone that's, 10 years in and see how they speak and see how they're marketing and they're cutting their videos and putting out their content, but they might be making 7 figures. So if they're making 7 figures and they build a successful brand, they've probably done hundreds and hundreds of videos, right? Written thousands of posts, and they have also a budget to have a team that can then cut and edit and do videos and things like that. So it's like, if you're trying to get to there, you'll never get there, right? So someone that's just starting out, then just, getting your iPhone out and just speaking to the iPhone while you're holding it, because you don't even have a fucking selfie stick yet and your hand's shaking, that's fine for where you're at, right? It doesn't have to try and be further along than what you are. And the thing is that what happens is when people are viewing what you're doing, and you're selling you sell like a product, you're selling the dream, you're selling like the vehicle to help someone get from A to B, from where they are, the life that they don't like, into the life that they want. So you're selling that. You're the bridge. You're the gap. You're building that bridge for them, right? So if they seeing it, because they're always asking like, can I do this? Is this something that I can do? And so if you're trying to be polished or whatever, it's like, they're like, nah, I don't think I could do that. Like Graham's marketing, like he looks like he has a full marketing team and things like that, as opposed to Graham with his stumbling hand is like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. Okay. Yeah. I'll say yes. I'll check it out. I can do that. Right. But then as you grow and, you evolve, then you might have, better marketing and a video production, and you're in a studio and you're doing a podcast and things like that. And then potentially you'll attract people that are like maybe a little bit further along, that might have a little bit of money. So they're like, yeah, I can do that. Like with a bit of money and whatever, I could do the same sort of thing. So you start to attract people that are maybe a little bit further along on your journey. So I think there's a place for like just being raw and real and honest and where you're at in your content. And just it's better to get it up than shit to be perfect. And I think what you said about, I guess rubbing people the wrong way is like, that's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Fuck that. Fuck that. D. Martini said, I'd rather have the whole world against me than my own soul. Right. So yeah, be conscious about what you say. There's some things that I don't say online, right? That I might say in a private group that I don't say online, just because I know there's a big audience there. I don't want to offend anybody. There's some things that I might say in a private group that's a little bit more edgy, or it's a little bit more, like controversial. So I won't say it in my content. So I am mindful. I'm not like fully sharing everything and airing all my dirty laundry online. No. So there is discernment in it. However, if I get the call and I'm like, I want to share this and it feels right to share it, then share it. 100% share it. If that feels and you get that intuitive nudge to do it. So it's being conscious of your audience, like I went hunting. I went hunting the other week with Frank, and he's a mad hunter, loves hunting. His brand is built around hunting. So I went hunting with him, and so it was my first time ever hunting. Shot a deer, ate the deer, butchered the deer, and took some of the deer home. He took some, and we got a photo. And he's like, "Are you going to put it up online?" I was like, "Oh, maybe." Yeah, I think I will. And then I was like thinking about it, I was like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't think I will. And so he sort of asked me about it, because he's like, oh man, I was disappointed. I thought you were going to do it. I'm like, yeah, that's your brand, bro. Like, I'm okay to talk about hunting. I'd probably share that I have gone hunting. I was going to put up the post, I killed a deer and I liked it. And, but but I'm like, I think the photo of it was, it just didn't feel right for me. So I didn't do it. I could have done it, but then it wouldn't have felt right. So I didn't do it. Right. And maybe I could explore into that, do it anyway, see what happens, but it's like, it wasn't really in alignment with the brand voice that, and the message that I want to get across. Right. So 100% use discernment. And I think like a caveat to that would be to, if you're sharing something vulnerably, is like process it first, get to a point of resolution. So you're not like, I hate my life, and you're just like, sharing that on social media is like, just allow yourself to cry and be in it and, get to a point of healing in it to some degree and then share, that would be my advice on that front. But I think like, if you feel called to share something and something that might be edgy, because a lot of times within your content, you're going to be polarizing. There's something that there's power in polarizing. And, a lot of marketers teach it as a strategy. Is like part of your content, like be bold, be polarizing, say shit that most people wouldn't say, and say stuff that I guess it can divide people or creates controversy. Because what you'll find is like, a post that you put up that's something that's controversial, then you'll find that you will have haters, people that come in there. They're like, oh, how dare you say that? Like you're a chauvinist or whatever they're saying, right? They're just having a go at you. At the same time, you're getting these people's like, best post ever. Love this post. Well said. They're sharing it around, right? And then other people are sharing around like, oh my God, this scumbag, look what he's writing. Like, you know what I mean? So polarizing, you're creating there's equal and opposite. Some people are like, fuck yeah, man, that's epic. And other people are like, oh my God, you're the devil, So, that can happen through polarizing content. But I guess if you don't take your content personally, then fuck it, but it is also sometimes taken very personally. And if it is taken personally, then there's a beautiful opportunity for you to heal. Because if you're triggered in it or you're taking it personally, or there's something that's like really hitting home or hitting you hard and heavy, which I know there's been a lot of content I put out where it's, I've had people, slander it or tear me down or send me private messages or all this sort of stuff. And I've had also friends that have done the same thing. And it's like a dagger in the heart. It can hit pretty heavy. And it's through that there's really potential for some powerful healing. So just feel it, like be with it, be with those emotions, and then, reassess. And, maybe it's like, oh, maybe that was a bit too edgy, or maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or is that actually true? Like, do I actually believe this? And it just sort of makes you ask some more deeper questions so you can get to the bottom of like where you're sharing it, how you're sharing it, why you're sharing it. And then also I'll say is like, there's people that have like slandered me on my content, right? And hated something. And then like a year later, they're on this post saying, man, that's the best thing I've ever heard. It's like, man, I thought you hated me. It's like, they didn't hate you. They just didn't like that post. It doesn't mean they hate you as a person, right? It's just they didn't agree with that post. Great. Everyone doesn't have to agree with everybody. Everyone doesn't agree with everybody. So, yeah. Great question, bro.
And that concludes part 1 of this special episode of our online men's community. But hold on tight, because we've got more where that came from. So check back in with us next week for part 2, where we continue to share this Q&A with the Rich Mystic Man community. And please let us know if you enjoyed this type of episode and if we should continue to do more like this.
Sitting here watching the clock, I'm struggling, thinking of the bullshit that I've been juggling. Is there more to life than this? I'm thinking twice.